Previously on WTPU, aka What the Pickup.
So yeah, that's literally about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of WTPU, and I'm hoping to do another one sometime later on. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized something. I've already made it to about 49 episodes, which means that next time will be my 50th. Oh dear God, what am I going to be talking about for the next episode? I seriously got a lot to think about now, so...
And now, we bring you this epic conclusion to this epic two-parter, even though it wasn't meant to be a two-parter in the first place until now, so enjoy the 50th episode of this show.
Well, I guess aside from that opening skig aside for this episode, well, yeah, I think it's pretty clear on what we're doing right about now. So yeah, welcome to another episode of WTPU, aka What the Pickup? Now, as you may recall in the last episode of the show, which you can see right down over here, I talked about my updated version of my DVD and Blu-ray collection, where pretty much I picked up where all three of these episodes from last year left off, and I actually talked about some of the new ones that I got since after I posted those three episodes, which is absolutely amazing, and you can clearly tell how much my DVD and Blu-ray collection has grown ever since I did those three episodes. But if you want to check that episode out for yourself, then don't worry about a thing. There's a card available on the top right corner of the screen for you to check out. So, yeah, go ahead. I'll be sure to wait until you come back. Yeah. Just take your time. I'm sure I'll be patient for this. Seriously, have you actually gotten to the part where I actually talked about that I actually got Dark Phoenix on DVD? That's actually pretty bizarre when you think about it. Alrighty then, I guess seeing how you did already see the last episode of the show, we'll go ahead and start off this episode in particular. Well guys, I guess today, this special episode of WTPU is actually really special for once because, yeah, I actually did tease this in the last episode of the show because, yeah, as you can pretty much tell, this is, of course, the 50th episode of WTPU, aka What the Pickup, which is absolutely incredible. I never would have thought we actually gotten that far within 3 to 4 years since we've done this show, So yeah, this is actually really incredible. I'm glad we finally got to this point, and we've really came a long way since after we first started this show not too long ago, probably back in like early 2016, I believe. So yeah, I guess a lot has been changed ever since we did those episodes. So I bet all of you guys are wondering, seeing of how this is the 50th episode of the show, am I gonna be actually covering something as I normally do? No. I think I'm not just going to be covering any particular item that I got for quite a while now, or one that I got recently. No. I gotta do something special for once. Something I've been meaning to do for quite a while now. So yeah, remember of course the few episodes where I talked about a few select items that I got from my Bachman and Hornby Thomas and Friends layout that I currently have in my room? Well, I figure for the 50th episode of the show, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about all the ones that I got. So yes, I figure for the 50th episode of the show, I'm going to be covering not just my Bachman and Hornby Thomas layout that I currently have in my possession, but all the trains and all the rolling stock and all the scenery that I currently have in my possession, because yeah, I think probably by the way this video is up, probably within a couple of months, it will be well over 10 years since after I since after I've done exactly that, I've actually been, I think aside from what I normally do, I've actually collected some Bachman Hornby Thomas models, but mainly focus more on the former in particular as opposed to the latter. But yeah, I think it has been well over 10 years since I've done that. So yeah, I figure for the 50th episode, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So let's not waste any more time, man. Let's get right to it. Alright guys, it looks like we are now in the heart of what we are going to be talking about. I think this little corner over by the my bedroom, where of course my layout is currently at right about now, and of course right next to it is of course the shelf, which where of course the rest of my the rest of my trains are at. But yeah, I think I figure it makes sense that we'll go ahead and talk about them through different aspects of it. I think we're mainly going to start with, of course, the main layout itself. Now I know when I first started, I think I just have it a little bit on the floor. Like, I would take them out of the box and, of course, set the track all over the floor, and, of course, run the trains through there. And yeah, I think I do remember back when I actually first started using a layout. If you recall, in my remake on the first episode of Sordor Adventures, which I was a part of around the time it came out, I think I actually used my old wooden railway layout table. Like, I actually tore down my my old wooden railway layout that I originally have for quite a while, and actually build my Bachman Hornby layout on top of there. And I do recall, because the track itself is so wide compared to the original table, I used to like stack like books and CDs to actually hold it up in place, so that way none of the trains will fall out. But thankfully, it wouldn't be until right around 2012 when my dad actually constructed this table not too long ago, and it's now big enough to actually fit the entirety of the layout, which is actually really quite nice. And I think it's pretty much a nice throwback to when he did the same thing to the first layout table I had, where I of course filmed Thomas and Friends Island of Sordor Adventure. So yeah, but that was during the time, probably back in the old days, probably during my early years on YouTube. So yeah, I figure it makes sense that I will go ahead and bring this up, and I guess you can clearly see that pretty much underneath the layout, it's of course stacked up with of course several oh, hold on, I think I need to turn on the light. There we go. So yeah, you can clearly see right about now that it's been stacked up with numerous amount of boxes, like from not just Bachman themselves, but also Trackmaster, Tomy, and of course Atlas, and of course Lying Owl. But yeah, I figure I will get that out to you, and I've even had the common courtesy to actually hide some extra track, like of course right here is of course a signal crossing, and of course a pretty much a crossing that you can use to make a figure 8 on your layout. So yeah, and oh, I guess it's a little bit orange there, but yeah, just want to fix that. Yeah, hopefully I think it will do the trick, but yeah, I guess if anything, I think it's actually quite nice to actually get that out there. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and get started. I think mainly, of course, is of course the trains in general. Starting with the ones in my on my layout. Like of course here we have of course Henry, Gordon, James, Thomas, Percy, Edward, and Emily. So yeah, I actually got those trains. Some of which are currently in sets. Like of course, for example, I think from what I recall, Thomas, James, and Gordon have their own sets that they came with, and of course And I am aware that Emily has her own set for quite a while, but I got her individually, as well as, of course, Edward, Percy, and Henry, which is actually quite nice. And of course, the main attraction to the layout is, of course, Timoth's Sheds, where, of course, all 7 of these engines are staying in, to which they were originally over there, but now I decided to move them over here to make it seem more real. So yeah, I think, believe it or not, I did get the Bachmann Timoth's Sheds right around at a train show, which was yeah, I'd say the Greensburg Train and Toy Show back in August of 2012, which I actually thought was actually a really fascinating purchase, and I really love it right here. And of course, I did get not 1 but 2 expansion packs, which is super awesome, and it actually does fit in pretty well with, of course, the main idea for Timoth's Sheds being 7 berths right about now. And of course, so yeah, and of course, all of this right about now is nothing but track as of late, but I did take the opportunity to include other stuff, and of course some scenery and stuff. Like, of course, here we have the single box right here with, of course, Sir Topham Hatt, or as the Brits like to call him, the Fat Controller. Either one works fine. And yeah, right behind it, it's of course hiding in the corner, is good old Harold, and of course, right around here we have a Coal Ogre, pretty much the American version, and here we have a castle tower right next to, yeah, to which, yeah, I will say this right now, I have like 3 trees that I have, like, of course, the one over there is right over by my old Wooden Railway versions of Jack and Alfie, and of course, the one over there is, of course, right over by Jeremy, the jet plane, and of course, right across the tracks is Cranky, and of course, the one that of course showed up is in between the castle tower that I have, as well as the conductor, to, of course, this old again, it's another old couple of old Wooden Railway stations, like, of course, the conductor with the lantern, and of course, the I assume Wooden Railway's version of course, not for, of course, Shining Time Station, that was included in the Thomas and the Magic Railroad Wooden Railway set. Anybody remember that? Yeah, and of course, a good old, an old telephone booth from good old merry old England. So yeah, I guess going back a bit, and of course, I think I pretty much, it's not just some Bachmann stuff that I include. I think I did include a couple of things from Hornby as well. Like, of course, for the scenery, I have not 1 but 2 footbridges, and yeah, I guess judging by the support beams being missing, you can tell they were beaten up for the most part, to which I am ashamed to admit it, and yeah, they are covered in dust, so hopefully I might do something about them. Maybe I might get new ones, or I might clean them up and try to fix them. We'll see. Yeah, and of course, I do have 2 sets of cows. Like, of course, the white and black ones are, of course, right next to the John Deere tractor that I have. And again, an old wooden house that, yeah, an old wooden railway house that was included in the Magic Railroad Wooden Railway set that I had years ago. And of course, good old Farmer McCoy, and of course, right across from the set of track is, of course, Terrence the Tractor, which is actually quite nice. And of course, the brown and yellow ones, I believe, or brown and white ones, whichever which ones, are of course right next to that water tower that's made by that is, of course, made by another model railway company that specializes in HO. And of course, I do have like a, and of course, believe it or not, I do have a custom Northwestern Railway statue that I did, which is, of course, consisting of, which actually has, of course, the bronze diesel engine, silver Percy engine, and the gold Thomas engine that I got when you actually purchased the DVD copies of during Thomas's 60th anniversary. Anybody remember that? Good. So yeah, So yeah, of course the statue itself, it was handcrafted by yours truly, and I'm really proud of that. And of course to top off everything that I have on this layout here, we have Bergie the Bus right next to good old Maithwaite Station, which is probably my all-time favorite out of all the scenery that I got in my layout, which I actually do find it quite fascinating. So yeah, I guess if anything, that pretty much takes care of all the stuff I currently have, as well as half of the trains that I have on my layout. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to onto the shelves just to see what we got. All right, so here we are in the shelves of course my Bachmann and Hornby Thomas trains, which is of course the main. Which is part of the main hub station for where I keep most of my trains and my rolling stock. So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and start off with the trains right about now. So yeah, to start things off, we have Duck the Great Western Engine, which is of course made by Hornby, and believe it or not, my mom actually gave it to me because she was visiting my cousin Sean, who was in London for a couple of years living there, which is actually quite amazing. And yeah, oddly enough, she actually found it at a hobby shop that was up there, and was kind enough to give it to me. And as of right now, this is of course remains as the probably my first and only Bachmann Thomas yeah, not necessarily Bachmann, but probably my first and only Thomas train that's made by Hornby right about now. I never delved into any of the other ones during the time I actually got this. So, and yes, I am aware that Bachmann did of course make Duck, and I know a lot of you guys want me to talk about it for quite a while, but yeah, I guess if anything, I would love to do that, but I don't think I would sell my Hornby Duck, as it does hold a special place in my heart. But I think I might stick to getting both brands in particular. So, but we'll know for sure. So yeah, and I guess moving on. So yeah, of course, next up we have Toby, and then afterwards we which may not be a successful runner, but it's still a pretty good one. And of course, we have the 6 diesel engines that I have. Like, of course, we have Mavis, and of course, Salty, and of course, Salty is of course another Bachmann Thomas train that I got in a set that was included. And of course, here we have Diesel and Paxing, and then Ari and Bert, which are actually really incredible. And I really love how well they turned out. And then of course we have the 2 twins out of all of them, which is of course Bill and Ben and Donald and Douglas. Now I actually don't mind Bill and Ben for the most part, but Donald and Douglas are probably my all-time favorites out of the 2 that I mentioned. And then afterwards, to wrap up the trains, we have good old Spencer, which is actually quite nice, and he's actually a really fast runner. So yeah, and of course going down a bit, we towards the rolling stock, I think we're gonna mainly start with, of course, the coaches right about now. Like, of course, pretty much another piece of Hornby Thomas merch that I got is, of course, James's coaches, which I have to admit, they are really awesome, and I highly recommend them. Probably worth the purchase on either eBay or Amazon. And of course, here we have Gordon's Express coaches. Those are made by Bachmann. And of course, Spencer's Special coach right here. And of course, the 2 mail vans, brightly colored in red. And of course, they're the good old classics, not the new ones, just the classic ones. And then we have Henrietta, and then and of course Emily's coaches. And then afterwards we have Annie and Clarabelle. Those were included with Thomas in that set that I got when I first started. And of course the red coaches, which I did talk about in an episode of the show several years ago. Probably sort of the same thing when I talked about Paxing and Toad when I first started this season, but we'll get to the latter later. But yeah, I thinking I'm actually really glad to have them right about now. They are really, really incredible. And of course, we have the Tidy Track. Of course, the Tidy Track thing that cleans the wheels of the engines, which I have right about now, as well as the Bright Boy, which you can clearly see it's actually covered from the amount of dirt and gunk that it got on the track. So I guess it's safe to say that I made great use of it. So yeah, and of course, to finish off the ones I have in my rolling stock collection, to top it all off, is of course it's of course the freight cars. Like here we have Scruffy, and of course all 4 troublesome trucks right about now, and of course the Sordor paint flatbed, and of course a little flatbed, and of course a little truck, and oh, another piece of Hornby merch that I got. This one is of course a regular one. This is of course a special truck that Hornby made. That was made for a toy shop in London called Hamley's, which is actually a really nice one. I'm really glad to have it. And this was of course made back in 2008, which is actually quite nice. And and of course my mom did give this to me back in 2010, which is actually quite nice. And here we have the blue truck, and of course the tar truck, and the Sordor fuel tanker car, and of course the milk tanker, the raspberry syrup tanker, and of course a salt van, and of course this van right here is of course an ice cream van right about now, and of course a cow car, and of course a regular old van, and of course the regular old brake van, and of course Toad the brake van. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say, apart from the first 2 shelves that I have, I've actually collected more of the rolling stock in particular. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much it. Well, there we go. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say that's pretty much everything I have to say for all the stuff I have in my Bachmann Hornby Thomas layout, as well as the collection in general. So that's actually quite nice. So if I can sit right back down as of now. There we go. Yeah, back to our normal old spot as we normally do. So yeah, I guess so. If anything, that pretty much covers everything I have in my Bachmann Hornby Thomas and Friends layout, as well as my collection in general. So yeah, I guess if anything, I think I think all of this that I showcase, it's not only really fun to have around, but it's also it does actually hold a special place in my heart, because you know I love Thomas, and yeah, I think it actually goes to show that I've actually done a bit of model railwaying during that time. Sorry if I messed up a bit. It's still all done through pretty much improvising for a bit. So, but yeah, I guess if anything, my Bachmann Hornby Thomas layout, as well as my whole collection in general, it is absolutely incredible. I really cannot get enough of how much I actually really enjoyed it, and yeah, like I say, it does hold a special place in my heart, and yeah, I guess chances are I think I'm still gonna continue on with this layout for quite a while. Maybe probably use it a little bit more often to make videos and stuff. So yeah, I think sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I kind of heard a noise in the background, but I guess everything's all fine. It's just a little figment of my imagination, but yeah, I guess overall my Bachmann Hornby Thomas and Friends layout, as well as my collection in general, yeah, it actually does hold a special place in my heart for quite some time now, and yeah, I guess chances are I'm still gonna continue on with this with all this quite frankly until the end of time, or probably until the day I die. So. But yeah, I guess in the end, I'm still proud to actually have it all in my possession, and I think it's actually well worth getting, whether it be I buy them myself with my own money, some that I got at some train shows in the past, or even some that I got for Christmas. So yeah, I guess if anything, I'm really glad to have it in my possession, and I think it's a great way to actually celebrate 50 episodes of the show. So yeah, with that being said, that pretty much wraps up the 50th episode of WTPU, aka What the Pick Of. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. And of course, as always, if you have any constructive criticism and or advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future, then all you gotta do is leave them down in the comment section below. And of course, if you have any questions for me in particular, or if you just want to book me for a con or event that'll be coming up pretty soon, then all you gotta do is send me an email to this email address, beackley95@hotmail.com. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos in the near future, then not to worry, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and plenty other social media sites that I have provided. All the links to them are down in the description box below. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this coming up in the near future, then all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, as well as turn on the notification bell, so that way you'll be notified once I upload a brand new video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this 50th episode. I know it's actually a long one to actually get to this point, but it was actually worth it. And let's see if the next 50 episodes I'll put up will be as great as this one. So yeah, probably by the time I reach the 100th episode, what am I going to be covering for that in the near future? Well, you'll just have to tune in to find out what it is, because I'm not telling you what it is. Shh. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.